used to live in a fun world, a proper world where you could get a sub $20,000 hatchback, a hot hatch, and you could have a lot of fun with it. It could be a fun little track car. You could daily it. It got great fuel economy. And then what happened? Suddenly, nobody wants coupes. Even four-door like hot hatches have sort of just faded away. And Ford brought out the Lobo. That's right. Today on the show, we're going to talk about the Ford Lobo. I was at the press launch of this vehicle twice. I did the press launch and then I did the first drive event of this vehicle and had a blast with it. But we live now in a more complicated world. We live in a world full of tariffs and have made this vehicle quite not affordable. So we're going to find that out. But first, before we get in that, go ahead and click that like button for me. I would greatly appreciate that. And over 80% of you are not subscribed to my channel. It would do me a big favor if you would go ahead and do that. I would appreciate it, and I would call you a friend. So let's get into this. Let me bring this vehicle up here, and let's talk about the Lobos. So a couple things about the Lobo. We know, okay, it's a sporty. It's supposed to bring back the sport truck era, which kind of does and kind of doesn't. Now, they're going to claim it. They've lowered the vehicle some. They did an inch in the back, about a half inch up front. Give us some cool wheels, stuff like that. And ultimately, I think it looks good. I think this truck deserves some splashy graphics on the side of it, something to draw more attention to it besides like the solid wheels, which you can option out of. I think it doesn't stand out enough in the world that we live in when people see Mavericks. You know, Maverick's been a huge hit for Ford, and well, I think this vehicle needs just a little bit more to stand out. But let's go through this thing real quick and see which I would pick as my dream version of this. So that is Oxford white there, but what I tested in the Lobo was this right here, Shadow Black. I tested this vehicle. I'll throw some footage up there. You can see me driving around this. I love this vehicle. It was a lot of fun to drive. And I have to say, this thing, they've taken parts bin vehicles, stuff from Europe, you know, the Focus, the ST stuff, and they've brought it into the truck form. And, you know, I was watching Savage Geese the other day, and they had a good point that this is sort of replacing the hot hatch, except I love the hot hatch. I miss it. I've been looking for a Focus or a Fiesta ST for a while, and I would do another Nissan, Juke, because I love those quirky, weird vehicles like this that are spunky enough to drive. You know, the weight to power ratio is perfect for them, but we don't live in that world anymore, so we got to deal with what we got. So Shadow Black, we got Oxford white, then we've got proper carbonized gray metallic, and then finally we're working with some blue here. We've got Velocity blue. And remember how earlier I just said, hey, we need something splashy, exciting? There's just not enough color. We needed a lime green here. We need something to draw attention to this vehicle. And Ford, they've been in this 10-year slump of like, we're not doing fun colors, we're just doing what sells and that's it. But if you would have done a lime green in this, or some kind of maybe a canary yellow, something like that, I think it would have done gangbusters for this vehicle. And you just do those colors in this vehicle. But we got to work with what we got. So Velocity blue is about the most exciting thing I see there that I like. So I'm going to stick with that. And there is no upcharge for that. Now we're going to get one engine option only, the 2-liter EcoBoost. So you can see there, it makes 250 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque. And I can say this little girl will get up and go. This is a spunky little thing. I know a lot of people were wishing that they would have got the 2.3. I'm telling you, for what this is plenty power for this truck. And, you know, there's some tunes. You can get tuned if you want to. There's companies out there that would love to tune this thing. But what we do lose is payload capacity. We're down to 1,040 and 2,000 pounds of max tow. Not that you're going to tow a ton with this anyways, because this is going to be your fun vehicle. And so you're getting an all-wheel drive setup in this vehicle, and it's included. So which makes it, that's part of the fun of this is, and you can, we were able to get these things sideways just a little bit. You're never going to be a true drift truck, but once again, is what it is. 7-speed transmission in this thing because they want this thing to feel spunky. If you had put the 10-speed in this, it would feel just like a boring commuter car. You want something that you feel them gears hit just a little bit harder. I think that's why they went with the 7-speed on that. Packages. Getting standard 402A package. So let's see what's there. We're going to get the 19-inch turbofan style black painted aluminum wheels, 7-speed transmission, the Lobo drives, that's where you get into the spunk modes. You have all the drives. Kind of if you're a Bronco person, you got the goat modes. This has the Lobo modes, which makes it real fun. We're getting a tuned suspension under this thing because, well, they brought all these parts together. Remember to have some fun with this, and I think you could do more with that suspension. By the way, I think you can lower this thing down just a little bit more if you wanted to. We're gonna get the black edition Ford logo, so we're getting all the blacked out stuff. We just did the painted roof. You got the fender, all the Lobo special badging, LED projector lamps and all that. So, and Ford Copilot 360. But what if we wanted to bump it up just a little bit? Let's see what we got here for the equipment group 702A. We're going to get the inverter. We're going to get the acoustic windshields. We're getting the all-weather floor liners and rear carpets. The ambient lighting, bed tie-downs, locking with two locking brackets. Bed liner, toughened spray. The bed liner, we're getting the B&O sound system and connected navigation, dual rear USBs, dual zone electronic climate controls, so that would be nice. Heated seats, heated steering wheel, power moonroof, sliding rear window. I mean, you're getting a lot more with this, but is it worth the price? Because let's see. If we click this, let's just see what happens to the price. We're at $38,000 now. We're over $40,000 just by adding some fun options to this. So I definitely want to, I'm going to say no on that because I would like to keep this somewhat affordable. I can live with some, without the heated steering wheel and all that, but, I'd like to make this a little more spunky. And look at the spunk of this thing. The back of it, they did a really good job when I was at the press launch of this. The guy who helped design this was very passionate about lowrider trucks and sport trucks. So you can tell his love of all that really bled through there in the back. Oh, I mean, seamlessly. It looks great. So we're getting Copilot 360 on this standard. Now, here are the wheel options. So we got these, let me bring it sideways there. You can see them. You got this wheel option here, the solid wheel, or I think you're going to upcharge us. Let's see what the fancier wheel goes for. The painted black aluminum wheels looks to be about $100 more. And I think it looks much better with those wheels. For the $100 though, would you probably end up putting some deep dish wheels or something on this? Maybe, but I think for a while I would ride on those wheels. So I don't mind that extra $100 there. Tires, you're getting a 225, 55, 19 tire, which is a all-season tire that you're going to want to get rid of real quick. You're going to put something sporty up there. Tonneau covers, I'm not buying this for actually a pickup truck. I don't need any of these things. One thing I would say is the bed liner for $495, just because you might throw something back there, something slides around, you don't want your pretty paint all scratched up. And past that, I don't need any of these accessories. So let's go into the interior of this vehicle, which this is the one ding I have on it. See all this blue? I dinged him at the press launch about this, and this is Maverick in general. You got these pretty black seats, all the cool stitching, the kind of green and blue stitching for the Lobo Maverick, and then this blue does not. Just put black in that. You can add some splashes of colors with these armrests, but past that, I don't need this blue. Ford seems to like it though, and it's been in there for a while, so they're going to stick with it. But I would like to see that all blacked out. So our 2025 Maverick, we no upcharge on that blue paint. The black roof didn't cost us anything. We see you get a bunch of options: 2-liter engine, the all-wheel drive system. The Maverick Lobo 402A package did not cost any extra. We did opt for $100, and it's a pretty affordable $100 for those 4 wheels on that, which I think they look better than the solid wheels. Bed liner was our big probably purchase for $495, and past that, that was it. So we started out at $35,930 and we ended up at $38,220, including destination charges. And that right there, that's not a bad looking vehicle. And we live in a world where the prices have jumped seem like 20% year after year for the past couple of years. And it's starting to make the Maverick not seem so affordable as it once did. If this vehicle was about $28,000, you know how many of these they sell? Every one they can produce. Well, we don't live in that world, and obviously tariffs and stuff are going to affect some of the pricing, but it's just a little too expensive to me for what it is. I love driving it. I think it's a fun one, and I think in a year or so, if you can find one of these in the used market, when you can get it maybe at $29,000, that's where you jump on this vehicle, and then you go tune it, you have fun, lime green, make it obnoxious, just make it yours. And I think that's the way to do it. So in the comments below, where you at with this Ford Maverick? Any interest in this thing? I thought about picking up one for the channel, just a normal Maverick, just to see how I could live with it for a year. Might do that, might not, but I need your help. Go ahead and smash that like button and click the subscribe button, so it helps me fund these things so we can have some more fun with vehicles like this, because I'm green, I keep saying it, I would do it in a heartbeat. So whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or these badass little Ford Mavericks that I love to drive, I'm going to drive one again. It's been your All Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, and we're out. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.